So, unfortunately, things are not going to be named after subscribers in this game. But I do have a jaunty little cap to wear for this. So, boom. You can name divisions, yeah, but again, we'd spend all stream just naming these divisions, which wouldn't be particularly good. Maybe there's a way for me to mod subscriber names in for the future, but that's not going to be today. Boom! Is Daniel in the chat? I wanted to ask him a question. Hey, Daniel, I got a question. How feasible would it be, as Japan, for us to do an early war declaration against the Netherlands? The reason I ask that is because right now their independence isn't being guaranteed in any way whatsoever. And they got oil. Oops, switch out on that mode. They have oil. So that's what I'm wondering about. If we were to take this, how feasible is that? Daniel, of course, is the expert. Obviously, the Middle East has lots of oil, but it's actually beyond our reach. These numbers seem wrong. They're supposed to have more oil than that. Oh, no, it's up here, Iraq and Iran, that has all the oil. And we don't have any. This is what I'm going to refer to as the Japanese problem, which is that we got no oil, which is going to be brutal. Daniel says it's actually a really good move. Ooh. Ooh. That's interesting. And lots of rubber, too. That is true. What's Netherlands doing in the Pacific? Well, I mean, you know, all of it was just colonial territory. That's all it was. Liberal oil from the West. Well, because that's the other thing, right? If, let's say, we want to conquer the Pacific, which would be really nice. Obviously, like, you know, if we wanted to do, say, the whole Pacific Rim, which might not be entirely feasible, but if we wanted to, obviously that would involve warring the United States, like what happened historically. The problem with the US is they got all this oil sitting there, so they can outproduce me plane-wise and ship-wise, which is what happens. The only thing we've got going for us right now is that right now they're in a super isolationist, sort of like non-warring kind of government setup. And so there's potential for timing there. The other thing that would be nice is Venezuela over here, which has a crap ton of oil. The problem is, all of the Americas are all, their independence is guaranteed by the USA, so that's a whole nother thing. But I haven't tried this yet, right? I did like a couple of tests early on just to get a feel for how Japan feels, but I hadn't tried the Netherlands thing, and it would have been nice to do a little bit of a test there. Why not go for the entire world? We'll see. The other thing we're going to do is we have historical AIs turned off, so we don't know how the AI will play. They might make decisions very similarly to how they did it historically, or they might go in a completely crazy cloud cuckoo land sort of thing. I saw one of my games that I played, United Kingdom and France formed an alliance, and they actually like merged up. They merged into the same thing. So it was just one giant UK across here, which was cool. I don't know if that was a decision or a response to an event or what happened there, but it was very funky. Taking the land here would be nice for the rubber as well. I'm more worried about oil than rubber, although we don't currently have any rubber either. Now, early on, for most nations, I would lean for almost every nation, I would immediately jump into national foci that would give you extra protection. Actually, imperial austerity is kind of nice because you need fewer consumer goods factories, so that's actually quite nice. And then here you get some free factories, some free infrastructure is okay. Not to mention going down here you get the extra research slot. Often I would be rushing that, but I actually feel very strongly that a good, strong start for us would actually be to go to aggressive on the mainland very early with China and all that. Because, and here's one thing that maybe Daniel can explain. We've got two options here after the Chinese border incident. We can go war with China, which gives us a war goal against China and Shaanxi, which I can't pronounce, but there you go. We can get a war goal against China, or we could choose Chinese puppet, which has a 60% chance of China just becoming our puppet, and a 40% chance of just giving us a war goal on China. So, why wouldn't you try for the puppet every single time? Now, having land puppeted isn't quite as strong as having it just, you know, annexed. But if you get to puppet something without a war in the first place, it's kind of awesome. Plus, the thing with China is it doesn't have very many resources itself. Mostly, in my opinion, you're sort of taking this Chinese territory. I mean, maybe factories, maybe manpower and whatever, but a lot of it might be so that you can reach the territory down here. Look at how much crap is sitting in this country. Guangxi click. Listen. I'm bad at pronouncing things normally. This is going to be extra bad. Although we've got a lot of votes for the Netherlands. It'd be very interesting. Secure oil first. Liberate Indonesia. We actually have a mission, or is it demand French Indonesia over here that we could go down. So one of the things, once we get our way down here, at some point, we will have to choose whether we will lean towards the Axis or found our own faction. And that may partially depend on what the Axis has done at that point, because there's a good chance that as we start more stuff, especially as we start with stuff with the US, they'll join the Allies, and then it might be nice to have the Axis on our side, or maybe the Axis will just drag it down. We're probably going to go a little bit more ahistorical in this run, because my Italian run is very historical. Netherlands first, then China. Remember how much world tension that gives. Oh, it's Indochina, not Indonesia. Sorry, for demand French Indochina. Yes, yes, yes. Which is here, right? It's these bits? Well, it doesn't say. Oh, I think I just clicked on the Siam one. Yeah, that was Siam. Oh yeah, it just says an event. But I'm assuming it's this pit over here. Create your own faction. A lot of people want that. Get the oil. Well, tell you what. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to try a very rapid declaration against the Netherlands. If it fails completely, it's not too early to restart. Yeah. Now, the problem is, we're not going to get the Netherlands to capitulate if we do that. Right? Because we're not going to be grabbing their capital over here. And what's their national unity? 75%. Yeah, they almost certainly will not surrender or capitulate. So this will give us control over the oil, but we'll still be stuck in this war against the Netherlands. And at some point, the Netherlands will join the Axis, and suddenly we'll be in a war with the Axis, or the Allies, sorry. Netherlands will join the Allies. We'll be in a war against the Allies. Although maybe by then it'll be time to take some of the, UK islands over here. Right, the UK's got some bits over here, right there. And Australia and all that. Check the transport ship tech. We added some new rules there. So let's take a look. That's what Daniel says. I mean, this is not, and I hate doing this because I had a whole plan before the thing. Yeah, there's transports over here. I've got that tech. Is that what you mean? I've got the base tech. So we need 50% fewer convoys, and we've got plus 10 naval invasion capacity, whatever that means. Also, we just got a tip in from Elphus Chaos. Thank you very much. Here's a small bribe to befriend the United Kingdom. That would probably be too challenging, so I don't expect that will happen. Annex mainland Netherlands, go completely off the track. Yeah. In my test games, taking this territory very early on is nice. Of course, if we do that, then the world tension will have increased, at which point the Netherlands will be guaranteed. How many victory points are over here, is the question. This is the victory point map mode. Or no, it's faction map mode. Oh yeah, there is no victory point map mode, which is something that annoys the hell out of me. Daniel, you should get on that. Because you're looking around for the little squares. Like, I want a highlighted... I want a map mode that highlights victory points. Because we don't have that. Right? These are all F keys. Yeah, F9. I mean, all the capitals are worth victory points, and some little provinces have... Yeah, see these little squares in here? These are worth victory points, but looking for those goddamn things is a pain in the ass. I want a map mode that highlights, grays out everything, and puts in red and green my victory points versus their victory points. Come on, Daniel. Get on your shit. Saphologist, thank you very much. Hey, Quill, I've been watching your YouTube Let's Plays for a while now, and watched my first stream yesterday. It's awesome. Keep up the good work. More dwarf. Victory points are just cities now, but yeah, again... Like, okay, so you're looking for glowy bits. That helps a little bit if you look for city lights. Although, look, there's a victory point here and here. They don't glow. Alright. I think I'm going to go for my initial plan. I think I'm going to go for the initial plan of just dealing with the mainland area right now. Because I think it's a lot safer. It's a great way to get a lot of resources that we can trade. We don't need to secure oil for ourselves that early. So... here's what we're going to do. we're going to have to organize all our stuff first of all. We're going to get a defensive line against the Soviet front, just to make sure that no crap starts over there. We are going to have some garrisons on our various islands over here, which aren't going to be the most fun to micromanage, but there you have it. We are going to arrange a proper battlefront against China in case, well, if the puppeting goes wrong, I looked at the events. If they say no to the puppeting, we just get a claim. It doesn't instantly start a war. And I don't know if I want to actually start a war instantly. But we're going to roll the dice and see if we can puppet them. Because here's the other thing. When we puppet them, no world tension from that. So it's like a free boost. So let's just go ahead and do that. So I'm going to take all my armies there. Here's another complaint for Daniel. There's no button to let you just select all your divisions. Or, more importantly, select all divisions of a particular type. You can go through here and hold shift. Oh, I've got to change my symbols around. So we've got, I'm going to rename these as well. This is my standard infantry division. So I'm going to rename it to infantry. Boop. This is, I looked up on Google what this means, and it's some sort of like, anti-aircraft artillery division is the name of this, but it's got sort of like a funky comp with like a light tank and just some infantry, so I'm not sure what it is there. We've got cavalry, we've got a mechanized, motorized, sorry, not mechanized. Someone just sent in a big tip. Who's that? CMC 18 Pit, thank you very much. Sending some war bonds your way, investing in whiskey tech early will give 20% bonus to country pronunciations for the rest of the game. That is an excellent point. That is an excellent point. Thank you so much for that. And yeah, we'll probably have to get a little bit whiskey in the late game here. So this is our garrison. This is a very lightweight division, just 6 infantry. Most likely, I will give it an engineering company later on so that it can get a little bit more entrenchment. But it will be used pretty defensively. I'll probably never add any more brigades or regiments. Someone will have to tell me if they're supposed to be. If you look here, each column is a regiment. Each column is a regiment, and then you have battalions in them. So these are battalions organized in regiments, organized in divisions. Most likely I will never add any more battalions over here other than an engineering company to get a little bit more entrenchment. Anyway, I'm going to change the symbol of these guys. I'm going to give them the rook here, because that looks like a very defensive sort of boom. I'm here to tank and make a wall, but not really do anything else. So that'll make it a lot easier to see in this army list. We can sort by type, and I can see all of the guys of this division. We got another tip in. I should keep that open a little easier to access. Daywalker Gaming HD, thank you very much. Conquer the Soviet Union, push your Red Sun glory west. Sake would be the new whiskey, or the new vodka. So, anyway, let's actually organize our troops here. So, what I'm going to do for the ease of things is I'm going to start by box selecting everyone, well, as many people as I can find, then we'll hunt down any stragglers after the fact. Alright, I'm going to make one big giant army. We're not going to stay like this, though. That is for sure. And it's slightly easier to select things in here, although, that's the other problem. In this one, you can't sort people by goddamn unit type. Why not? Come on. QA should have picked up on that. Daniel, this is going to be, well, how do I want to start off? Yeah, it's fine. Let me start off this guy. This is going to be the China front. Not that we're going to attack yet, but I'm going to start things off that way. Then what I'm going to do is grab all of these garrison-style units. So all the ones with the rook icon out of here. And I'm going to put these guys on the Russian front. So I'm going to make a new army out of these guys. And these fellows are going to get assigned up here. Excellent. But then I'm going to split this group in half. Select half of them, create yet a new army, and this one here is going to be my Homeland Defense Army. And for that, I'm going to use the Garrison Area tool instead and say, please garrison here. I'm going to ignore this little bit of land because that's going to be part of an offensive front later on. And make sure to defend the homeland, the island down here. This is mine too. And then over here, we're going to make one giant just set of garrison units. Why did it deselect it? Okay, you're already selected. There's the other thing that's not Oh, it's because I'm clicking on the airfield instead. There we go. Don't click on the airfield. These tiny islands are very hard. And I'm not literally going to worry about having one everywhere set, although that's probably most of our territory. All right, then I'm going to create a new theater. So this theater is going to be renamed the Home Guard. And then I'm going to create a new theater with these fellows. This is going to be the Russian front. And then finally, the theater over here, for now, is going to be called the Chinese front. Like that. But we are going to have supply problems on this front. I'm not actually going to put quite this many troops over here. I'm going to split off a few more. In particular, I'm going to grab the one Marine division you start with, and then I'm going to grab like 3 more regular infantry. And I'm going to split them into their own group. This is going to be a Marine invasion front if we do the Chinese war. And we'll probably do something like a naval invasion from here to here, grab that port, and then we can push out a little bit more. So we'll do something like that with our organization and see how it goes. And then we'll shuffle some more things. I suspect we still may not have enough supply over here. We'll probably want to hold some people a little further back. Although the AI is smart enough that they won't enter a province if it's going to put that province over limit, which is kind of nice. And we'll draw some battle plans later on. Anyway, let's go ahead and pick our first national focus. I'm going to take the Chinese border incident and go right into Chinese puppet, and we'll cross our fingers. Whether or not we'll start a war if it goes badly, we'll make a decision after that. Research is going to be a pretty familiar route. We are going to pick up basic machine tools for higher factory optimization, construction 1, so we build factories faster. We will need a lot of the synthetic oil tech later on, but we don't have to rush that quite yet, because right now we can still trade for oil, and that's going to be fine. Plus, we've got other things to do. I will go and start working on electronic mechanical engineering to reduce our research time. And then we've got one more tech selection available, and I think we might... no, you know what I want to do? Is I want to unlock the level 2 destroyer right away, because I want to start building a few more destroyers. We will also absolutely have to build the super battleships over here. The Yamato and then the Super Yamato over here at some point. But the Yamato class is just a bigger version of the battleship as far as I know. 6,000 manpower versus 8,000 manpower. Naval firepower is 28 on the Yamato versus 22 on the Congo over here. So it is just bigger. And bigger is better, right? We got a couple more tips that came in. Ben Gouger, thank you very much. I love your series of The Roomba and all the collaborations with others. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much. We'll hopefully be having a little bit more of that soon. And Calzone, Sweden. As a Paradox stock owner, I approve of the stream. From Sweden with love. Yeah, I hear the stocks are doing pretty well after the IPO, actually. And Kenny says, name something Lieutenant Dan, please. Oh, we'll take a look at that. Oh, the Congo is a battle cruiser. No. These are battle cruisers. The Congo is definitely in the battleship line. Oh, you can shift-click to compare them. Thank you. I was like, how do you pin them? That is very helpful. Yamato class consists of the heaviest battleships ever created. There you go. So you can compare them side by side. It's a little slower. It's got more hit points, more damage. And bigger is cooler, therefore we have to build them. The Congo was remade from a battle cruiser with better armaments and more armor, which makes it basically a battleship. Ah, I see. Yeah, sort of straddling that line in between. So, this is what I'm thinking right now. Since we're not literally instantly going into a war, otherwise I would be grabbing the support equipment upgrade, or the next level of a light tank. But assuming we're not going to war against China, but the lesser ones, we're not going to need a new tank tech. And I do want to start on the battleship production, or the destroyer production, especially if we're going to do anything else. We'll see. We need carriers that can carry other carriers. Yeah, I want to go heavy carrier tech. And actually, I want to go heavy airplane tech. Oh, that's what we're going to do. Sorry, we're going to get the fighter is what we're going to do. Because we don't start with the 1936 fighter. So we're going to want to grab that, and we're going to want to quickly upgrade it to the carrier tech as well. Start with research and building tech. Yes, I've done that. Boop. That's what I started here first, and then we sort of run out. Okay, we are going to set up our civilian factories, and definitely the first thing I want to do is get more civilian factories, because, you know, then we can build more stuff faster. So I'm going to queue up a good number of them early on, and we'll revisit that but I'm going to want a fair number of them. Then we've got military factories over here. We've got a few things in the queue already. I'll actually start with the ships. I think I'm going to keep all the ships that they currently have planned. I'm going to keep them in the queue. I'm going to bump this carrier up and bring that up. And I'm just going to say keep transferring all of the naval bases down the chain over here like that. We could cancel the this heavy cruiser over here because it doesn't have that much production put in, but it still has a decent amount, so we're going to do that. I don't think I'm going to be worried about importing oil quite yet, because if we were going to import oil, it would cost me some of my civilian factories, which I don't want to do right now. What do I want to put my production in? Probably more infantry equipment. In fact, I think I'm going to max out the factories over there. Other than that, we don't have a demand for anything yet. We will want a little bit more support equipment as I add, when I add engineering companies to my garrison. We're going to need quite a bit, so I'm going to go and bring that up a wee bit over there. And I think I would like to start pre-building a little bit of artillery. And I like to keep my ground in the same area as opposed to the ships over here. So we're going to start our last military factory. We're going to start building a little bit of artillery. There's not a need for it right now, but I believe, actually I'm not sure, does my infantry division? No, it doesn't have an artillery company yet, but I will want to add a support artillery company to that. Okay, no divisions in basic training right now. I think if we're going to train anything, it might be some Marines, especially if we are still considering doing something down here. Again, puppeting shouldn't increase the world tension, so we've got an opportunity to wait on that. But I think what I would very much like is maybe a foursome of Marine divisions. I have one already. I'll build one more in parallel over here. You can deploy to somewhere that's got a naval base. How about Nagasaki over here? Nope, I think I clicked on the naval base. There we go. Yeah, deploy to this Kyushu. Except it's the wrong province in Kyushu. I want right there. There we go. Excellent. All right. I think we are ready to unpause. I'm going to unpause, leave it on slow speed for a little bit here. One of the things to discuss, if we decide to go down here and make our own faction instead of joining the Axis, the question becomes, who do we invite to our faction? People who are fascist are going to be the ones who lean more towards it. Siam does start off 20% fascist, and we've got the option of befriending Siam over here. We've also got this pressure Siam. Does it add details? Display of force, convince Siamese government to sign an alliance with us, a loyal partner in the greater East Asian prosperity sphere. So we might go with that. I'd have to check the event to see like exactly what it means. Nagasaki doesn't own well. And well, yeah, well, our number one goal as Japan is to not get nuked. So we'll see if we can do that. All right, we got no complaints about supplies right now. That's good to see. What we should do is get all our ships together. Spot the Dog Games. Hey, thank you very much. Finally got paid for my first game dev job. More than partly helped by yourself. Oh, thank you. Excellent. Now I can sub and tip. Keep up the excellent work. Cheesy lines, etc., etc. Much love from Scotland. Well, thank you very much. And Artonati, thank you very much as well. Love to watch your streams. Finally had some money to share. Oh, thank you very much for the tip. So I'm going to do here, I'm going to select all of my fleets, and I'm just going to group them up. That way I can figure out how I want to organize them directly. I'm gonna park them right over here. Boom. And we'll see what we want to do. We'll have to assign some generals and whatnot soon as well. Yes, I was going to ask about the day-night graphic. I'm going to turn that off because I know, especially at higher speeds, which we're not playing at right now, but as we crank the speed up, it gets to be quite flashy. So there's a little toggle at the bottom right corner to just disable that. So I've got it turned off now. Because it doesn't really inform my tactics that much. I mean, yes, there's a difference in combat, day versus night, but both sides are affected by it, and combat lasts long enough that you're going to go through multiple day-night cycles, so I'm not sure there's a real good like optimization for when you do it. So let's just take a look at our countries. So Soviet Union, they're doing their Great Purge. What's Germany starting with? They're going to remilitarize the Rhineland. Very fine. France is reforming their government, which is... Oh yeah, it's over here, and then they can lead into a bunch of other things. You know what would be really interesting with France if they decided to revise Versailles and either went left or right? That would dramatically change things. You're going to reinforce the empire, overseas service and things like that. Well, I don't like that part. How's the US starting with? Air War Plans Division. Canada, political effort. Canada's just got a generic focus tree. Only a handful of nations have custom focus trees at this time. All right, so our units are still shuffling around. That's okay. We do have insufficient oil and rubber and steel right now, but I don't think there's enough to warrant importing at this time. So we're just going to chill, and yeah, we're going to let everyone reposition themselves based on what I said. And my fleet over here, so I'm going to merge them together, and I'm going to split off. I like this. Create new fleet of all submarines. See, you don't have that for, like, the army, right? You can unassign selected things. You can select half of them. But yeah, that's it. Anyway, so our fleet's over here. We can easily split off all the submarines. And we do have Admiral Tadashiga Dago over here is my only Seawolf. He's only a level 1 leader, but he is Seawolf, so submarines get a 20% attack boost. It would be nice to get him trained up for later on. So we're going to go ahead and assign him to the subs. And again, imagining that we might go to war with China, although we're not planning on doing that right now, we'll set these guys on a convoy raiding mission. Oops, I think I have to right-click. Convoy raiding mission on the Yellow Sea, the East China Sea, and the South China Sea over here. They can go and bop some convoys. And then my other fleet over here, I'll probably just give them my highest rank admiral. They both have superior tactician. This one's got the spotter bonus. This one's got the blockade runner. Oh, that's retreat. Yeah, we don't care about that. So we'll put our admiral on here. We could split this fleet up, and actually, later on, we will definitely want to split off our destroyers into a defensive sort of fleet over here, I think, to spot enemy submarines if our main fleet is off, you know, I don't know, Pearl Harboring some stuff or something like that. But for now, I think we're just going to wander together with a patrol instruction in these same 3 sea zones. Again, we're not planning to actually declare war right now. We're just working our way up. How are we doing? Yeah, no retreat. Never retreat. Remember, you're an island nation. Enemies have to attack through air or sea. Strong defense fleet with anti-air is important. I absolutely agree. Now, one thing I hadn't checked is I know that battleships don't have anti-air and destroyers do. But what are the stats on the other guys? I guess I can probably from the tech screen see that. Right? If we look here, destroyers have anti-air, cruisers have anti-air, heavy cruisers have it as well. Battleships, oh, the battleships do have it. Maybe, is it just when you do a variant that you can't upgrade the anti-air of a battleship? Unless I was upgrading carriers. Maybe I was, no, carriers have it built in, but I don't think it can be upgraded in a variant in the bigger ones. Alright, so everything's got some anti-air, which is nice to see. The other thing I think we're going to do is we are going to exercise our troops a wee bit. We do have, actually we have no infantry equipment in storage right now. Never mind. That's right. That's right. We had the big deficit. Where am I looking for? Over here. We had a big deficit, so we can't do some training yet. It would be nice to get a bit of experience, but we'll hold off for now. So no one's complaining about any attrition, which is great. Our Chinese front over here. Oh, we still have some units. Have they not all been properly assigned? You guys, get over there. Oh no, that yellow exclamation marks means they won't move. Wait, unable to find valid path? What you talking about, Willis? Go to the naval base. And then come to that naval base. Anyway, for the sake of army, I'm just going to go, I'll make a temporary little army for these guys to make it easier to track them. And, oh, you can be doing strategic redeployment here. Much faster. Have enough convoys? Yeah. Here's the naval base. Why can't I get these troops over here? There it is. Am I wrong about this being a naval base? Maybe I was clicking on the wrong province? It's a naval base, level 3. I don't know. Anyway, they're moving now, so that's going to be okay. And then we'll have them join the Teal army here soon. There's got to be... There's just something I'm not understanding about this one. I don't think that's a bug. I think it's just something that I'm not getting. Bum, 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 bum.